I'm going to do a how-to on the wheel. How I usually start it is I usually do the flags like this first. So it's just a figure 8 motion like that. So without the flag, all it is this. Take it, make it parallel. Now, this one will go down and your other hand's gonna follow. So it's gonna look like that and over. So faster would look like, and then you just do it a little faster. And let's see this.
Can you do that one more time, slowly, without the flags? So, or like with the flags not moving, so we can see like your hands going. So show us your hands going.
Like this, and then this one follows like that.
So you're basically crossing over on both sides.
Figure 8, and one is just slightly behind the other one. So when this one's down here and turning, this one's coming.
Okay. Can you face me and do it so that we can see the hands from this direction?
So it looks like.
Okay. Great. You want to do it with the flags, both directions, both facing me into the side so that they can see it?
The one thing that happens is when I face the camera directly, it does look a little different.
But that way they can see your hands was all I was thinking, so.
Okay, gotta make sure you have.
You guys get to sit in on our conversation. We hope you don't mind. Okay, can you do it yeah, there you go. So we can kind of see it. I know they're not flowing exactly right, but you get the gist.
Down, 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 and then just do faster.
That's awesome. Can you show us one more time from the side?
Sure. Oh, down. Flags twist once in a while.
That's such a pretty effect.
And you can slow it down and it still looks cool.
That's awesome.
And you can do that one the same way over your head.
Okay.
It just looks like this. And you're making the figure 8 the same way. Your hands follow the same way, but instead of doing it like this, you're doing it like that. So it looks like an upright standing 8, where this looks like an 8 laying on its side.
Will you do both hands over your head without the flags for a second? Just throw the flags over your, yeah.
It looks, gosh, without flags, there we go.
So it's still the one hand following the other hand. Okay. Awesome. Can we see it one more time with flags? Thank you so much for doing this for us. That's so pretty.
And I sometimes it helps me if I actually visualize a figure 8 when I was first learning how to do this. I would imagine an 8 and that my hands were tracing it. That way I could visually see where I was going.
That's awesome. What other tips or tricks do you have?
Just feel it. Don't actually worry about where the weights are. If you can feel the weight and kind of know how the weight moves, you can do a lot of the really stuff that I don't know how to explain to you how I do, like this kind of stuff, because I'm basically just twisting a flag a couple times one way, once another way, but knowing that it's not going to hit me allows me to do. And that's all it is. I'm just twisting and then twisting.
Right, so it's going one way and then the other way, which is how it keeps it from getting completely twisted.
Do one hand at first, because 2 is really difficult. So do one.
Yes.
Then do another one. Do it once or twice, whatever you're feeling like doing. Sometimes I'm going to untwist this a little bit. And you'll also get the feel of which direction your flags are twisted, because you can actually twist them a lot of times and they'll still look cool. So you don't really have to worry about getting them too twisted, as long as you know eventually that you have to untwist them. So that's kind of the thing that I learned, was Don't be worried about where the weight's going. And don't be worried about the flag getting twisted.
It also looks like you don't worry about it touching you slightly, because it'll sometimes go across your head, and sometimes you'll even do it on purpose, and
You get that
looks
hair on the
beautiful.
face, so-
Yeah, it's really cool.
The
So,
only thing you do not do is do this.
yes.
That's the only
The
way
number one rule of
that
flagging.
Don't hit yourself in the eye. So if this is weighted here and here, and I fling this towards me, is the only way that you'd actually hurt yourself.
Other than that, you're pretty safe with swing
Yeah, you might
flags.
get a little bit of a weight but it's not gonna hurt.
Nothing that should hospitalize you or anything.
Yeah.
Any other tips and tricks?
Those are my big ones. Yeah, just feel it, because like you can feel where the weights go, and that's kind of when I do like stuff like this, it's just kind of feeling the weight. You can feel it flow.
Now, what's different when you do it when you're holding the shorter end?
It looks different. Okay, so this was the longer end.
So it doesn't actually change the way that you're doing anything. It just changes the visual appearance of it.
So this is shorter on this side. You can always put your flags together. So it looks a little different on the short side. These ones are a little bit harder to do moves like this because you have the extra material flowing. So sometimes I don't always do it on a super fast song because it takes a little bit more arm strength because you don't have as much weight.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're gonna be like going fast for like this, using a lot of arm strength for like a whole song, it kind of gets tiring. But same thing. Just doing the down and back.
And it's fun because it gives you an opportunity to have a different look of the way that they look in motion than when you're doing it the other way based on the design. So the design just looks different when it's in motion.
And I guess I should say there's things I do that are parallel, like this, where both hands is doing the same thing. And then there's times I'm doing something like opposite, which I don't.
Yeah, I call that mirrored. That's what I've called that, where it's almost like a reflection. It's just exactly the opposite, what you said.
And if you're having a hard time with it, do one flag. Because I could not do two flags. So just practice doing just one flag, and then maybe go over your head. And once you have one flag, it's a whole lot easier to do it the same motion than with two flags.
Yeah, and especially if you practice one flag in each hand. So you do like in whichever, if you're right-handed, start by doing a flag in your right hand. Once you've got that down, then practice it in your left hand.
Right.
Then
One
try and do
flag in
two.
your left hand.
Yes, exactly.
I could do it with one flag in my right, and then when I moved it to my left hand, suddenly I was uncoordinated.
Yeah.
But I just kept doing it, and then sometimes I would have to go back to, okay, my right hand did it this way, so how would my left hand do it? Okay, my left hand would do it this way.
Do you find that your arms, because you're right-handed, do you find that your left hand moves differently? And do you have to compensate for that at all?
No.
Have you not
I'm
thought
like-
about it? You've
I'm
just done it long
right-handed,
enough?
I do other stuff with my left arm,
Okay.
so
Because for me, I have found that my left is definitely significantly weaker. And so for example, when I do stuff over my head, when only one goes over my head, the one that will go over my head is always my right. Yeah, exactly, because my left arm, it'll just break off otherwise.
okay, so this is an example of me doing like two different things. This is just doing like a laying flat figure 8. And then this one, I'm throwing over my head. So it's just kind of getting the rhythm down of doing one.
Mm-hmm.
And then adding one over my head.
Which you have now alternated.
I'd be bored.
No, it's cool. I mean, it's great because you can see how such simple motions just, when you put them together, it works.
A lot of it's not complicated. Some of the stuff, yeah, even though stuff like this looks complicated, it's just me twisting.
That's awesome. Any other tricks?
I don't know. Oh, I have used it where I take it in the middle. So if this is my long end, And this is my short end. In one of my videos, I actually took it from the middle.
So right at the corner of the lead
right
corner.
In the corner, and I would just use it like a streamer. And they can get as twisted as they want, and it doesn't really matter because it's a streamer. So, Megan, is there anything else I forgot? The most important thing though is to just get with God and just have fun and just worship, because that's really what it's about. And when you can do that, you don't really worry about weights hitting you, and you don't really worry about flags getting twisted, because God doesn't really care if the flag gets twisted. And as long as you don't hit yourself in the eye, you're okay.